The first of the 7 sacred feminine archetypes is the maiden. So I'll give you a quick introduction into what her energy might be like and how it might play out in your life. The energy of the maiden is very free-spirited. So some of the key words would be free, a sense of discovery, innocence, playfulness, unself-consciousness, joy for life, effervescent. So her energy is delightful, and it sits within our root chakra system. So this is our sense of security, our foundation in the world, our sense of family, our sense of our ancestral connections, and a lot of issues around security are in that chakra. So this relates really well to when the feminine in her maiden energy is either overactive or underactive, because it's how we see the world, whether we see the world as a threat or we see the world as something with some curiosity to adventure within. So in her overactive shadow state, the maiden can come across as somebody who completely lacks direction in life. She is the wild child, similar to Peter Pan syndrome, but for the feminine. The character in, I think it's 28 Days, the one that Sandra Bullock plays, that is the maiden in her complete overactive stage. So she could be sexually promiscuous in the way that she's using sex to get a sense of self-worth as opposed to having free sexual expression. So it's promiscuity that comes from a sense of lack of self-worth as opposed to just exploring her sexuality because it's fun. In her underactive state, the maiden can come across as having a complete inability to make decisions. She is looking for somebody to save her. She thinks she flows with the world, but not in the active receptivity of a fully embodied feminine, but in the way that life just bats her around like a cat with a toy. So she's people-pleasing, she feels codependent, she disowns her sexuality, she feels shame around her sexuality perhaps, she doesn't know how to embrace her sexuality. So this energy is very fearful of change and quite insecure. So yes, that would be the energy of the maiden. Some of the goddesses that you find embodying the energy of the maiden would be Persephone. She's one of the first goddesses that come to mind, just because her journey is such a archetypal rise in consciousness. You know, she's a beautiful, naive, innocent girl who gets abducted by Hades, taken to the underworld, and through that journey of pain, she rises as the sacred feminine who is not only the queen of the underworld, but the goddess of spring and of rebirth and of new beginnings. And she's got such a hopeful energy, and I really love working with the energy of Persephone, especially when it comes to healing childhood trauma and you know, the wounds that we have experienced because of the way we were brought up. So other energies that would embody the sacred feminine of the maiden are Bast, the Egyptian goddess with the cat head. She's a very playful energy, and it's great because if you've experienced a childhood that has maybe made it feel difficult to play, or where you haven't experienced as much joy, or you feel guilty for experiencing joy, calling on the energy of Bast can be so healing to bring a sense of playfulness and less seriousness into your life. I definitely have been working with Bast a lot to bring a sense of play back in and a sense of security to enjoy playing. So yes, that would be two of the goddesses that I can think of when it comes to the maiden energy. I hope that's been helpful, and I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on the maiden archetype. Leave your comments below.